This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net, and it is time for Heart Mojo with Melinda Smith. And we have a few extra people with you today, Melinda.
We do. Nice to see you. How was your holiday?
Nice and quiet, thank you.
It was very quiet. Different. Wasn't Thanksgiving different? A little different this year. But we made it happen.
Yes, we did.
Moving on to the next one. Well, I have a lot of guests on. I want to do something a little different tonight. I wanted to talk about, it's a little bit about what I do. I am on this board. And this board of people that you see here are on the CLE-East Senior Network. And we are a networking group. And I invited them because we, in our jobs, faced very specific challenges working with seniors in the community, but also working with each other. And so this group formed to be able to combat those issues, to help seniors and to help our peers and to be able to work together. So I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves and talk a little bit about what they do first, so you know where they're coming from, which perspective they're coming from in this industry. And I'm going to start with Jim.
Thanks, Melinda. My name is Jim Kaler. I'm an elder law and special needs law attorney. That means I help people who need long-term care and people who have disabilities. I give them the chance to decide how they're going to pay for their care. We may have to use government programs to do that, and we try to make sure their care goes the way it's supposed to go.
Awesome. Mary?
Good evening. I am Mary Norris Pack. I'm the manager for community engagement for ESOP, which stands for Empowering and Strengthening Ohio's People. And our focus is helping older adults age in place and maintain financial and housing stability.
Roberta.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Karen, and thank you, Melinda, for this opportunity. My name is Roberta Brofman, and I am the president and founder of a company called 5 Star Clinical Solutions. I am a registered nurse, and I have an MBA in healthcare. And what we do is we help nursing homes and post-acute care facilities to achieve the highest quality they possibly can. You've probably all heard of CMS or Medicare and Medicaid coming in to do surveys, and achieving that highest possible level of quality is great for our seniors, and it's great for our companies as well. And the other thing that we do is we provide advocacy for people who have healthcare need. So many of you have probably been to a doctor's office or been in the hospital, and things don't seem to be going quite right, and you're not sure where to turn. Healthcare is so complex right now. We really need an expert that can help you to answer questions, learn new things about your diagnosis, and help you to navigate through the system. So that's what we do, is we provide advocacy to the individuals.
Thanks. Shalom.
Hello, thank you for inviting us, Melinda, and for your hosting us, Karen. I'm Shalom from Right at Home, and so I'm the local owner of the Right at Home franchises here on the East Side. And our job is to help our clients, our seniors, to stay safe in their homes, wherever they call home, to help them have a little bit more quality of life with a caregiver who really cares. So that's our mission.
And for those of you that don't know what I do every day other than Heart Mojo, I do business development with assisted senior living communities. I work with the Fountains in Lyndhurst, Gateway, which is a Medicaid facility in Euclid, and Stratford Commons, which is in Solon or Glen Willow area. And we help people find a place to live. So when they can't stay home anymore with Shalom, they can come to us and we will help care for them. We can also have Shalom come in as a caregiver in our locations as well. Yes. So we all know each other through networking in the senior community. And getting together became increasingly difficult when the pandemic happened. So we decided to find a way not only to be able to work with each other, but to give back in the community. The people who work in the senior care industry are extremely stressed every day trying to care for our seniors. And those of us who work in the community in general, marketing, are also stressed because we can't talk to each other, we can't help each other. And the seniors were stuck inside these buildings. They couldn't see their families, they couldn't see their friends, they were isolated. So we worked to come up with an option getting through that challenge. So Shalom, do you want to start with this a little bit? Because really it came out of one of your groups that you were hosting prior to the pandemic.
Thank you, Melinda. Our mission is to help each other to fulfill each other's missions. And all of us together create a network with heart. So how hard is it to be by yourself or socially isolated? Now throw in a pandemic and it just makes life less worth living. So we're trying to, a little bit, touching maybe one person at a time, help out a little bit. So here's an example of that. So a group of us were helping to pack bags of food at the food bank on Sunday. And I ran into a woman whose mom lives at one of the senior living facilities in our neighborhood. She's actually at Anthology. And she said, you know, it's so interesting. There was a group of volunteers that just happened to be at my mom's window last Tuesday.
Oh
Would you know anything about that, Shalom? And I said, wait a second. Was she COVID quarantined? She's like, yes, she was. I said, did we spend about a half an hour with her singing and caroling and dancing? And she goes, oh my goodness, she is still talking about it. She talked about it straight through the Thanksgiving weekend. And that just shows, like, we touched one person and I felt like we did something. And that was networking with heart. And by the way, none of us could have done that by ourselves. But
Right.
coming together, we were able to celebrate a little bit and share a little bit and bring some joy. And we clearly touched somebody.
Well, the interesting thing is we started dancing in April. And if you go to the CLE-East Senior Network website, .com website, you'll see all the different places that we've been. And we do this every single week since April, in the snow, in the rain, in the blazing heat, and now we're back to snow. We've continued to do this, but it has been, I don't know, I'm going to ask Roberta how she feels, and Jim, but you know, I dance every week, and Roberta and Jim can't always dance, but Mary, Shalom, and I are there pretty much every single week. And there's a feeling that just comes over you when you see these people. What do you think, Roberta?
You know, I really have tears in my eyes because, you know, pretty much my entire career and most of my life as a nurse has been taking care of other people and bringing them the best quality of their life that they can have. And I will never forget being two of the places. One was at Montefiore, that is the place that I have worked for many years. And I really wasn't sure, it was one of the first ones we did. And I really wasn't sure how was this going to go over. We're going to be outside. Are they really going to care about any of this? I was amazed at two things. One was the look in the eyes of the people that were looking out the windows and how happy they were and holding signs up to us saying, thank you so much. Mm-hmm. And also the other thing that impressed me was the staff. You know, we sometimes forget about the staff is really going through a tough time right now. And it's a tough job to begin with. So add COVID on top of that and isolation and quarantine. And they are the family for these folks, for these people that are in these nursing homes and assisted living. So to see the staff so happy, and they would come out and join us, you know, and dance with us. And it brought some joy to their lives and their time as well. So I thought that was beautiful. And the other one was, I think, in South Euclid, where people drove up in their cars and we provided food for them. And I was amazed because I was thinking they'll probably just take their food and they'll leave. But they didn't. They loved it. They loved it. And you just could see how much joy it brought them.
They sat in their cars and watched us.
They did. They did. And some of them even got out of their cars and danced with us.
They did.
We all had our masks on and everything. As I remember, that was blazing hot.
It was.
That day. Yeah.
It was. I had a feather boa on and it was stuck to my neck.
Yeah. So just to, you know, I think that, you know, coming up with the kind of slogan of networking with a heart was one of our brain children, but it was born out of the fact that all of us really do care and really wanted to do and had been doing some great things for the food bank. And, you know, this is just, and now we'll start caroling this coming week too. Which I think is going to be great. And we'll go through the snow, we'll go through the rain, we'll do it all. But it's just, you know, when you give, you get so much back. And it sounds so trite, but to see the looks on the faces of these folks was just, it just warms my heart, truly.
So Jim, you weren't exactly jumping in to dance initially, but now you kind of got your groove on. So how does that make you feel coming out to do this now?
I felt bad that I didn't at first, and I feel bad that I've had to pull back because I really enjoy it. I see how the folks that we are entertaining, or I hope entertaining, let's put it that way. This is hardly Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, but we do, I see their smiles, I see their toe tapping, or they're dancing along in some cases, but I see them enjoying it. I remember my grandmother in a nursing home, and bless her, you know, she got involved in every activity she could. I remember I would visit, now mind you, I'm visiting from 300 miles away, but so I'd stop by and visit when I was home, and it was great. And we'd talk for a few minutes, and then she'd look at her watch and say, "Oh, I gotta go, guitar player's coming," and off she went. And now that everyone is hidden because of COVID, I can only imagine how grandma would, she's passed away now, but I can only imagine how isolated she would feel. So I'm glad we're able to reach out more, but I've got some very vulnerable people in my family. So I've had to, I could come out, and then when the COVID got even worse, I had to pull back, and I miss it. I really do. I find it, I like that I'm giving to those folks, but I also find it cathartic. I really, I can feel some of my own burdens disappearing while I'm out there shaking my rather large butt for these folks. And
adding your turns, because you added the spins to
that. I don't mind a little bit of ad lib here and there.
Yeah.
You know what? It's great exercise for us too. It really is.
It is.
Right?
It is. I just wanted to share a story, and this was very recently. We were actually, we're always outside. We have never been physically in a building, and we always wear our masks. This was a screened-in porch. And one of the ladies that lives in this building had been pretty much, you know, just catatonic. She wasn't responding. She was just sitting in her chair, not speaking, not moving, nothing. And they brought her there, and she started with the toe tapping. And before you know it, she was participating and smiling. And that music made the difference for her. And we've seen a lot of seniors in a lot of places. You know, as you shared, Roberta, they were in the windows, and many times they're in windows. Shalom had us down at the Veterans Hospital, and we really didn't get to see that many people at all, but they saw us on television.
Plus another 2,000 people watched us afterwards.
Right, watched the video.
Live.
So we are now famous or infamous, depending on how you want to look at it. But that's the reason to do it. There are many days where I think, oh my God, it's Tuesday, we have to go do this again. Because we all have stuff in our lives that we're dealing with. But once I get there, I'm jumping, I'm clapping, I'm going up to the window and peeking out like this, letting them see me smile, because they're not seeing smiles. So the lady that Shalom referred to, she was all by herself. She's the only person we entertained that day. But because there was no one there, I took my mask down and I sang the carols with her. And she was doing that. And she was doing YMCA when we were dancing, because it's cold out now. We're still dancing. Right, YMCA. But it's very gratifying. No matter, we probably get more out of it in the long run than they do. Because we know that not only are we helping the staff, but we're helping the seniors who are stuck in there, and we're getting exercise. So we do.
You hit on something so important, I think, and that is that the fact that we chose music, I don't know how we really decided to do that. I think that might have been you that came up with the idea. But the fact that we chose music is so critically important, because, you know, everybody can identify with music. We know this from dementia studies that have been done. You know, even going back, people will sing the words to a song even though they can't communicate at all. So I think the fact that, you know, there are smiles and that we're there and we're willing to do something to help, but also the music is so critically important. You know, they call it the universal language, but, you know, something in the brain is triggered, you know, when you hear music. And I'm really anxious to see our Christmas carols coming up too, because, you know, those are traditional, and it will really kind of spark something in people's brains as well. So, and bring you back.
Like I said, we're still doing a little bit of dancing because it is cold out and it warms us up. but it gets them moving as well. But I think finishing with the caroling right now is super important because of the season. So we do that. That's kind of how we started, but then we took it to another level, which I want Mary to talk about because she's instrumental in helping us pull together these bags that we now take to short-term care facilities, nursing homes, and rehabs for the seniors. So Mary, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and just one more comment about the dancing. What, other than a great exercise on Tuesday, that has been phenomenal for me. But we have some participants that actually have relatives in some of the facilities that we have visited, and they otherwise would not have been able to see them. So we kind of got some sneak peeks in. So for me, for like Hillary, to be able to see her mom, and a friend of mine to see her grandmother who's 99, and Julie is one of our other participants. She teaches dance, and Julie sometimes forgets we're not the Rockettes with the high kicks. And for me, it made me come out of my comfort zone of, I have 3 left feet, 3 complete. So I immensely enjoy it. But yeah, these bags that we take now, you know, people go home and they just get their release papers and they're at home. They have a pile of mail, bills, nothing exciting whatsoever. So we have puzzle books, activity books. One of the biggest hits, I think, has been a magnifying sheet for those to magnify. Instead of the little glass, I found sheets at the Dollar Tree, my new best place to shop, by the way, outside of Dillard's. And snacks that we give them, of course, our literature, but something for them to be discharged and not feel like, yep, here are my, you know, take all these medications when I go home, but some things to entertain and lift their spirits. The coloring exercises, stress balls, all of those wonderful things, because facilities really don't have the means to supply those extras, those kind of care packages to go home. So I really, really enjoy being able to do that. And it's hard work. I never thought stuffing, you know, I was a Girl Scout cookie mom, and these bags are like treacherous because
they are.
We get more and more into it. We're taking requests. Well, this facility, they don't want pretzels. They would prefer granola bars. This one wants peanuts. And we're trying to make those accommodations because guess what? When they go home, that's probably it for a while. You know, people are not trying to customize a take-home bag, and we do. We try to take all those things into consideration, and that brings all of us joy. You know, we complain, and then we're sitting there, and we're like, oh, we're done? Okay, well, let's go for lunch now.
Right.
It's not really work for us. It's really, truly giving back.
And then we work together to drop them off, which is another opportunity we have to be together and see, you know, by giving them to the social workers at these different locations. And every time we go, they want more. This one will say, hey, can I get 5 more bags? Can I get 3 more bags? We are limited at how much we can put together, but we do try to accommodate that. So that, you know, we've tried to meet the challenges of the isolated senior and the staff. Shalom, talk a little bit about how we work together as a group to help each other through this process.
One of the nice things that we've done is we've gotten to know each other a little bit. And even though I just stay in my little niche and, you know, I have one thing that I do, y'all have expanded my reach. So for example, when there was someone who really wasn't safe to be at home anymore, so now I have some options and some relationships so I can help to guide the families, you know, what their choices might be. So, you know, if somebody's asking me a legal question, well, that's not my expertise, but I have Jim on speed dial. And so that's an example of us being able to, not just to refer to one another, but also to have each other be a sounding board. And we have probably, Jim can speak to this now, but there are dozens of people who have now participated in the CLE-East Senior Network in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our email list which is done by request, we don't throw anybody on it without them knowing, is about 110, 115 now, in that ballpark, and most of whom have participated in some way. And while I'm thinking about it, Shalom, the Ohio Supreme Court and lawyers all over the state, thank you for not practicing law without a license.
Well, the interesting thing is, before the pandemic, we had networking groups. We would meet weekly with one or the other. I belong to all of them, and most of this group does as well. And then we went to Zoom. And Zoom is a challenge. I know we're all on Zoom now, and we're talking about what we do, but it's very hard to network and get to know somebody new via Zoom. But by doing these activities, we can safely be outside with our mask, you know, at whatever comfort level works for the different people in the network, or put together the bags, again, with distance and with our mask, and still be able to physically be together on occasion. And that's kind of important for our group, just like it's important for the seniors who are isolated or anyone else. Because Zoom is great, and we're here on Zoom today, but it does not fill all the needs that we have out in the community, not only for the group of people out there, the seniors and the people who work there, but for us as well.
And we're supporting businesses. We decided we were tired of the Zoom, and it was nice. Let's hold the Zoom for when the weather becomes inclement, and we would meet in the parking lot by the furniture store and bring our lawn chairs and space them out and hold a 9 o'clock meeting.
And get coffee at Panera.
Panera by grabbing our breakfast and then trotting on over to our little spot. And it grew and it grew and it grew. And the maintenance and landscapers are trying to, they're trying to cut the grass, and they're telling us we'll only be 5 minutes.
Like we owned the spot, right? They were giving us 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The other challenge that we had is we did a lot with the Gathering Place, and Karen, we've had the Gathering Place on this show. All the networking groups work together and usually do fundraising for them. And that, of course, was canceled because we can't walk into a location where there are cancer patients coming in. So we decided that we would do our best and hold an event for that as well. And we were able to do that through our Networking with the Heart group, and invite, again, these other groups to participate. Then that was successful, but again, around the holidays, we get together usually and donate. We bring paper products, we bring, you know, hats, gloves, whatever, warm things, and they get donated via these groups. Well, it's very hard to do that right now. So as a group, with all the other senior networking groups, we came together to put another project of senior cheer bags. And these bags are going out to needy seniors via a senior center, for the most part, who can't get out. Some of these people haven't been out since March. They have not been out of their house. And they're lonely and they're isolated, and that is seriously causing, I mean, their suicide rate is up in seniors. So we wanted to do something to actually give them a gift. So I'm going to start with Mary, and we're going to work our way around and talk a little bit about what our different senior centers needed. But Mary is in charge of these bags. She's our bag lady, as you can tell.
Really, truly the bag lady.
And these cheer gift bags will be going out to these individuals. So Mary, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we thought about holiday cheer bags. Okay, well, we're from Garfield Heights, Shaker, Cleveland Heights, out to Fairport Harbor, and we're like, okay, wait, let's divvy this up and see what the seniors want. So we have from, I need sanitizer, I need cleaning products, I need gloves, how about some comfort things like cocoa and soup? And the list became, you know, we thought 5 items. I think we're probably close to like 15 items maybe in these bags. And Roberta found the cutest bags because we cross all demographics, all religions, all race. I mean, it's just a big melting pot. So we found the perfect bags and the perfect cards, and we will be assembling those 160 bags on Wednesday of this week. And
those bags that you found are really cute, Roberta.
Oh yeah, they're snowflakes. They're really cute. They've got silver snowflakes on them. Yeah.
And
That'd
then
be
we
nice.
deploy. Like I have 4 centers that I'm responsible for, and we're going to deploy those to the centers, and they have their 10 seniors that have been identified to be the recipients.
So I visited a senior let's see, it was the day before Thanksgiving, so it was last Wednesday. And she had a card on her wall of her apartment from last Christmas up until now from, I think it's the Community Partnership on Aging, but it's one of the local senior centers, and it's one of the places that we're working with. So I happen to know that card that Roberta's about to sign on Wednesday is probably going to be there for another year.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was important for us to put in a holiday card. Seniors, that's what they're used to. You know, so many people don't do cards anymore. But this is something that they, you know, they may not have a family member here. They may be estranged from their family. They may not even have a family. They could be a single individual. And so this is a way for us to give them something, a gift of some kind. They may get none. They may get none. And so we chose different things. Jim, what do you always put in the bags? Because it's very popular.
Yeah.
I found some puzzle books. I will admit, Shalom gave me the idea when we did the first set of bags for people getting out of rehab, or people going into rehab. He listed a bunch of things, and I knew I could go grab a bunch of puzzle books at the dollar store. So I said, okay, I'll take care of that. And I just stuck my my return address sticker on it, and it's been really popular. Apparently, we get a lot of comments about that. I'm not part of the delivery crew, so I don't hear the feedback except secondhand. And then so I was doing this so often, I found a place that'll pre-print them and put my information on them, and so it makes it even a little nicer. And so I've been passing those out now for several months and doing the same thing for the goodie bags. So far I've been doing word find, but that's kind of run its course. So I've got a bunch of Sudoku for the beginning of next year.
So the things that we put together are also mind challenging as well as something fun. We've done playing cards, people who want to do solitaire. And Mary pointed out, we're putting food in there. We try to be careful with the food. We don't know what people's dietary issues are, but hopefully if they can't use it, they may gift it to someone else as well. You don't know. Some of them have basic needs like toilet paper and dish detergent and things like that, and that's what they've asked for. So we've tried to generalize these bags to fit everyone's needs. There are gloves and scarves and things like that as well. So hopefully they will be happy to get that cheer bag. Mary and I sit on another board for a place called Village in the Heights, which is also participating in this group, cheer bags. And we delivered something similar at the end of the summer. Just a fun bag with a bunch of different things in it. And I cannot express to you how well received that was for these people that were then, one of the ladies called the Village in the Heights and said, and it happened to be one I delivered, and she said, I was having a horrible day, just a horrible day. And then Melinda rang my doorbell and surprised me with the bag. Got to see her for, you know, a few seconds, put eyes on her, make sure she's okay. And that made her day. That few minutes made her day. And if we can, as a group, hit the challenge of these people being stuck in their homes, and as a group get together and make that difference, you know, with one person, that's huge. That's huge. So I really wanted today to have everyone on the show because this is the core group that put this together to be able to go out there and do networking with a heart. It's different than any other networking group we have. We all do good things. We all work in the senior community, but this group, this particular group, yes, we all work and we need to cover our jobs, but this particular group, it isn't about that. It's about giving back into our community. Shalom, before we're gonna go in a few minutes, but tell me a little bit about the Veterans Hospital and the response from the Veterans Hospital, because that was our biggest gig, everyone, right?
So we had about 13 people dancing. A few of the folks had never been out with us before, and that was totally cool. We had a nice time. We started with some, kind of American anthems, and we sort of moved from God Bless America to it was called the Cupid Shuffle, but now we call it the COVID Shuffle. We had a couple of different camera crews out. They were, some of the nurses had brought out their residents, their patients in their wheelchairs on, there was three different decks up in the air that we could see. One of the most touching things I heard was on one of our it's called a traumatic spinal cord. It's basically a floor for folks who are bedbound primarily, and but every single person in the hospital was able to tune in if they chose to on channel 13. We had a closed circuit TV running as well, and I heard from some of the patients, and they were like, oh, they're dancing for us. And we gave them a specific shout out. We had a specific song dedicated to them, and folks in the blind rehab. I mean, they could hear us. They obviously can't see us, but it was pretty much, we heard back from some of the hospital administration. It was just fun. My fellow chaplains came out. There were 6 of them sitting at one of the picnic tables. So yeah, I think it was well received. And one of the nice things for us is, once again, we got a chance to be with each other, maybe also to share a few, business leads and suggestions with each other, and got a little bit of exercise again. And it's just all feel good all around.
And what
Karen, do you have?
Came out when we were in Chagrin Falls, was it?
Oh, when the news crew came out, Channel 3. Yeah, we were in Chagrin Falls. Yeah, it was a rainy day, but we did that.
Melinda,
hey, Roberta. Roberta,
Yeah.
how much does it cost to join the Cleveland-East Senior Network.com?
It is free. Can't find much that's free, right? And we give so much back. I was just going to add one more thing, and that is our educational piece, right? So coming up, is it the 9th, I believe? We have
No, the 3rd.
I'm sorry, the 3rd.
It's 3rd.
I'm not looking at my calendar, So we really try to give back to our professional community too. And we started out with the general community and have kind of honed things into the professional community. So we provide educational panel talks. So we bring experts in and ask them questions about different topics of interest for their businesses and healthcare particularly. And Melinda is going to lead one coming up this week. That is about putting your own oxygen mask on first. So how are we taking care of ourselves in this era of COVID? There's so much burnout in healthcare to begin with, and now we layer all that COVID on top of it. So how are we taking care of one another? So that's going to be our topic of discussion with our panel of experts, of which Melinda is one. So that's been really gratifying as well.
Yeah, that was another piece that we wanted to throw in, was something that we could do to provide a professional, not just the dancing fun part, but what can we give back? What information can we pull together that helps somebody, whether it's working with HR, how do you keep your employees happy? We started out with talking about COVID and keeping, what are the new rules? And boy, have they changed since our first event in July, I think it was. And talked about seniors. How do you engage them? So we had administrators and activities people on to be in a panel discussion similar to this, where questions are asked and they answer, and then the whoever's on the Zoom call can also put their questions in, and hopefully it helps them as well in their profession. Karen, did you have any questions?
Yeah, as I'm listening to all of you, I'm realizing there's a whole group of people who would want to be part of this organization, and that are the family members, because they don't get to see their family. I know when my mother was living in assisted living up in Michigan, they would take pictures and send them to me by email and show me what my mother was getting involved in. And when I would go up there, I would get involved. And I'm just thinking, if you're dancing every Tuesday, if the families know, are you inviting them to come out and dance with you? Are you inviting them to come out and sing?
Well, I would think that the locations that we dance would need to let their people know. We don't know who we're singing to. We don't know the people. If somebody happens to hear about it that works in our industry, like Hillary participates in our group. So it just so happens that that was a good location for her. And it so happens that Mary, knew somebody and she was able to be there. But in general, it's not a bad idea. Thank you, Karen. We can always make that suggestion if people want to come and dance. They would be able to see. We've had some new people, somebody who works as a florist and been so kind to bring extra flowers, buckets of flowers every time we dance. And so we can leave those not only for the people who work there, for the residents, and then whatever's left, we take and distribute out to people as well to bring a little cheer in their day. So we've diversified. So that's another way we could diversify.
Well, I think you're all
I don't want to throw a
offering
wet blanket on that, but part of our concern is, part of what we ought to be concerned about is not violating the rules on how many people at a gathering, because this is a gathering.
Yep.
I mean, we generally have not had an enormous group there. They don't need an enormous group there. But it could, if we open it up to others and just kind of made an open invitation, we could easily get ourselves in trouble with the COVID powers that be.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I already know that the different locations, because I work in one, would not be spreading that information out right now because of the fact that, for exactly what Jim said, you don't really know. And you'd be surprised. People can be sneaky and try to get in to see their loved one, even though they're not supposed to. But if they want to come and see them through the window, it's something in the future that we can always entertain. It's not a bad idea for the future when things lighten up a little bit. Mary, you're locked. Mary, no, go ahead. You're there you go.
So Karen, you mentioned something about the caregivers. Benjamin Rose, who's our parent company for ESOP, this week also are having a webinar, GoToWebinar, social isolation and the pandemic. So it seems that we're right in the middle of the two holidays, that is the focus. And before this call, before 5 o'clock, we had 123 registrants already. This morning we started off with like 17, and it just, people are posting it and reposting it because depression is more than what I ever thought it could be. We had that family in Shaker Heights that the father, wiped out his entire family. I passed that house 4 days a week.
This is almost done.
And the more we talk about it, I think the better off we all are, and understand that it's real and people react to it differently.
Yeah, I think right now the need is so great out there for something that feels normal for people. So even though our dancing probably isn't normal, we're not normal out there. We're not the Rockettes.
No.
But it feels with the caroling now that we've added in the holidays. I mean, isolation in the holidays before the pandemic is always an issue, not just for seniors, but for anybody. It's worse this year. It's so much worse this year. So it's super important that we, as a group, for us, get out there and help alleviate some of that pressure just a little bit, some of that loneliness just a little bit, to let them know somebody cares about them, to take the time to do what we do. So anyhow, Karen, do you have any last questions?
If you see us, like in Bedford when we were dancing the other day, everybody was honking their horn.
Honking the horns,
See us
yeah.
out there dancing, give us a wave, because we're loving it.
And if anybody wants to, give us a little press on it, that doesn't hurt either. We've been in a couple different newspapers. We were on Channel 3. Our video through the VA has gone viral. But it isn't really about that for us. It's about letting people know that there are choices. You have a choice to get through this challenge. You have a choice to sit there and go, woe is me, my life sucks, I can't do anything. But you can do something. Whatever it is, whether it's donating to the bags. You don't want to go out? That's okay. Donate and we'll take care of it from there. Donate to your favorite charity. There are so many in need right now. every one of us is on a board or does something different. I know we do in our community, and all of those people are hurting today. They need it. They haven't been able to get together to do their fundraising. So there are ways that you can make yourself feel good and give back. And I think whether it's with us, whether it's with any of these other, you know, the Gathering Place, Parkinson's, autism, there's so many choices to make you feel good, just to give a little something to help someone.
Well,
The more you give, the more you get.
all of you.
True. What'd you say, Karen?
I'm just grateful for all of you because I know there are people out there who are loving everything that you do. And we need more of you. So I'm going to start pushing it and letting people know that maybe a few donations wouldn't be a bad idea.
Absolutely. So if anyone wants to find out more about what we do, it's CLE-East Senior Network, all1.com. There's drop downs, tells you what we do in the community. If you're interested in this Thursday's seminar, the Zoom panel discussion, you can get the link there by registering. So please feel free to touch base with us and let us know your thoughts and let us know if you want to help.
Maybe we can put it in the chat. It's CLE-East Senior Network.
Jim, you're fast at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll make sure that we have it in the description of the show.
When we post it.
Absolutely.
So any last words? We're at about 45 minutes, which I promise you guys, I know you all have something else you have to run and do. So I'm gonna start with Mary. Any last words for anybody going in the holidays?
Thank you, Karen, for having us. And if nothing else, I look forward to Tuesdays and just seeing the smile on one person's face, even in the rain, makes me feel good. Makes me feel good.
Jim.
Happy holidays, whatever those
Thanks.
look like for you.
Jim.
I thank you, everyone, for inviting me to participate. I wasn't sure what I had done to earn the invitation to sit on this board, but I'm very glad that you have asked me to join in. I really enjoy what we're doing. I think we're doing important stuff. And thanks for letting me participate this evening.
Of course. Shalom.
I wanted to say also to thank you to Karen and to Melinda and to my fellow board members. It's been networking with the heart, and we couldn't do any of this without each other. So to you and yours, I say enjoy the holidays and let's stay safe, continuing to wash our hands.
And wear a mask. Roberta.
Just thank you so much. I think that what's really important in life to all of us, to everyone, is to make a difference, right? To have some meaning in our lives that makes a difference and touches somebody else's life and impacts the world in some even small way. So it's an honor and a privilege to be part of this board and to do the things that we do together. And I appreciate the time that you, Melinda and Karen, offered us for this Zoom. So thank you.
Thanks. And I just want to say, listen, I couldn't get through my days without my friends, and these are all my friends. We have found a unique way to work through the challenges that are facing us. And they're not over yet. As Shalom pointed out, wash your hands, don't touch your face, wear your mask, do the right thing, and we'll get through this, and we'll get through this together. And find a way to reach out to somebody and help them. That's all I can say. During the holiday season, there are a lot of lonely people. It only takes one note, one little gift, there, Shalom with his mask, one touch like that, not really touching. We sing that song in Sweet Caroline, touching me, not touching you. Mm-hmm. Getting that out there is so important. And that's why I wanted to put this on the podcast, because I want people to see there are ways to help. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being on. I appreciate it. Thank you, Karen, as always.
And everybody stay safe, wash your hands, and wear your mask. Have a great day.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless.